What's going on, everyone? It's time for another show review. Now, I'm kind of doing these out of order right now because I'm working on my full review of the Aftershock Festival that I went to about a week ago, and I'm doing a day by day review of it. But that's taken time to get ready and stuff like that, so it's not going to be out for a little while. So I'm going to do the let's jump to the next show I went to a day after I got back. And on October 11th, I went and saw Iron Maiden with Within Temptation at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Canada. So, um, yeah, I'm going to talk about that show today. So, Within Temptation is they're either Swedish or Finnish, like symphonic gothic metal band, and they've been around for quite a while. They have like 8 or 9 albums out, but I only know their older stuff, like uh, the Silent Force and stuff like that. But yeah, and they're one of those bands that's like it's a heavy metal band, but they have like an opera singer basically as a vocalist. And live wise, they were pretty good. They have some really good heavy pummeling riffs and stuff like that. And the singer really knows how to project her voice and infuse all the blank, like dead areas where the sounds aren't to fill the gaps. And and their newer stuff is actually pretty good. It does kind of sound similar though. They didn't have very much transparency, I guess you could say, in the songs and the live set. Anyways, it kind of all kind of like meshed together, I thought. And they had an interesting little light show, but it was kind of repetitive. But other than that, they're still a really good, solid band. They definitely know what they've been doing, and to open a mainstream show like for Iron Maiden is a really big deal. And yeah, they're doing like 20 shows with them or something here in North America. And yeah, I thought they were pretty decent. Yeah, I wish they played a little longer. They only played for like 35 minutes or something like that, but it is still quite a good set. And yeah, a lot of fun. It went by pretty quick too. So we give Within Temptation a 3.5 out of 5 or a live performance. Yeah, I think it's just because they had a 35 minute set. They try to play as much as they can, which they play most of their newer stuff, which I'm not really familiar with. They did play one or two older songs, which I knew, but yeah, I think that was just the reason. I just need to listen to more of the newer stuff next time before I see them. And then Iron Maiden headlines. So yeah, if you're not sure, Iron Maiden's was is like the big monster of the new wave of British heavy metal, the second wave of heavy metal that happened after the first wave, which had like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, and all that, and then the second wave, which had Iron Maiden, and then a lot of other like smaller bands like Saxon, Raven, and things like that. And yeah, so as overall, this is my second time seeing Iron Maiden, and yeah, Iron Maiden's great like always. They have an interesting way of setting up their shows. They usually play their newer stuff first, so they played some from Sanjitsu and the Book of Souls and the Final Frontier in the first part, and then they had like a big zombie samurai warrior come out during Senjutsu, and they always have like the theatrical theme in the background behind the drummer and stuff. So you start off in this like Japanese sort of like monastery area, and then they go more into their old classic sort of stuff in the middle portion. So as it goes, you go through like um yeah, their newer stuff, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son and things like that, that sort of era. And then you go into the classic where a lot of their hits were. So near the end you get like the Trooper and the Number of the Beast, Run to the Hills and stuff. And then yeah, which ends up being the first um encore. They did two encores. So there's the first half of the show, and then there's the first encore, which is like 5 songs, and it's all those classic ones I just named. And then you also get like a lot of cool background changes and stuff. So at one point they're in a church, then they're basically in hell with like the demon Satan coming up, and then closes off with Aces High, one of the biggest hits, and which has they have the British airplane bomber hanging from the ceiling, flying around and stuff. It was a great show, a lot of fun, very well done, well thought out. You could obviously they've been around for like 50 years, so clearly you could tell they've been doing this for a while, and they definitely have their tour plan straight, because when they tour, they go on tour for like a year. And yeah, they definitely know what they're doing. And but performance wise, everything was spectacular. There is one little thing I noticed, and to me anyway, it seems like Bruce Dickinson's voice probably wasn't that great for at least in Toronto. This show, it wasn't like as crisp sounding as was the first time I saw it. It could be because of maybe he was a little bit sick or something was coming up. But yeah, the vocals weren't as super impactful in that one. But it's Iron Maiden. It's going to be epic and amazing no matter what. So I'm not too. It's not a big gripe for me or anything like that. I still had an amazing time, and it flew by, that show. It felt like I was there for 45 minutes, but I was actually sitting there for like 2-3 hours. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, definitely if you haven't seen Iron Maiden, check them out. Same with Within Temptation; they're really good bands. But I'm gonna give Iron Maiden a 4.5 out of 5 for a live performance for this show, anyways. But yeah, that's a little show review. It was only 2 bands, so not a long one, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So glad I went and saw them again. And yeah, but if you haven't heard of these bands and you want to check them out, if you want to check out like Within Temptation, I'll link both bands down below. And also make sure you check out my Instagram and TikTok for tons of videos and photos from the shows. They'll all be linked down below too. And yeah, but that's it for this one. Remember to support the artists you love, buy their music, buy their merch, go see them live, and yeah, live in the moment. You only live once, right? So yeah, keep supporting live music, and till the next show, which is actually tonight for me. It's Raven with Riot Act, and I think there's a band called like Sucker Punch or something like that opening. So in Toronto here on October 14th. So yeah, and then the one after that is on Sunday. I'll be at Accept with Neurotic Wasteland, Corrosive, Jugular, and there's some other band playing too. But yeah, so make sure if you run into me at those shows, let me know how it goes, say hi and stuff. And also, if you have any bands or if you're in a band you want to check it, maybe check it out in the future, let me know in the comments down below. But that's it for this one. So till the next one, rock on.